So last week we did Canva for beginners, just gave you a look at how the screen would look. Today we're going to take things a bit further. So in order to take things a bit further, what I thought we'd do is we'd actually create a business from scratch. And if we create a business from scratch, we take you through all the steps and everything that happens. So I've decided that we are going to create a consulting business. No, let's not do a consulting business. Let's do a life coaching business. A lot of people are getting into life coaching and business coaching. It's one of the things that people tend to do after they leave corporate life. They want to take their skills, upskill themselves a little bit. So we are going to create we're going to do a coaching business. So as I said last time, the first thing we really want to do amongst everything else is go to our projects. And in our projects, we're actually going to create a new project, a new folder called life coaching. If it decides to open, there we go. We'll call this life coaching. And press continue. Now I have a folder for life coaching. And the reason I'm doing that is I actually want to try and drop everything into this folder called life coaching. Every time we use something, I want to drop it in here so that I can find it. That's what we're going to do. So very first thing we need to do with our life coaching business is actually build ourselves a logo. So if I type in the word here, logo, there we have an actual logo. And I'm going to click on that. It's 2000 by 2000. It's big enough to make a logo. It can be expanded, everything I need. I just simply click on that and it's going to create a nice square design for me. And because I have no clue just yet what I want to do, I'm actually going to rely on templates. As I said, templates really, really work. So if I go in here to template, I'm going to type in the word coaching. And let's see what comes up with coaching. I can look through all of these. Oh, that one quite catches my eye. So at this stage, what will be really important for me to understand is who my target audience is going to be. If I'm aiming for corporate clients, then I need something that looks corporate. If I'm aiming for teenagers, then I need something for teenagers. If I'm aiming, for example, at women who've recently had trauma or some life change in life, I would then look for something like that. And so I would look at all the different logos and then decide from there. But because ek is 'n man, which is Afrikaans for I am a man, and I want to kind of have my coaching aimed more at corporate people, I'm going to look for something a little bit more corporate. So I could also type in the word corporate and see if anything comes up there. Let's give me an idea of different coaching. I actually quite like this one. So I'll click on this one. On the left-hand side of some things, I can look around and say, yep, I quite like this one. Like the emblem, gives me an enhancement. But I'm not going to call it, I'm going to call it said what coaching. Just to stay where I am like this. Said what business coaching. What I might want to do right now is actually make these all a little bit bigger. So what I can do is I can catch them all in one shot like that, or I can click on one, hold down the shift button, do the next one, hold down the shift button. Now they're all the same size, and I can just make this a little bigger. It fills a little bit more of the space. By moving it around, you can see I'm looking for the middle points. There they are, my middle. You can see the red lines come up. There we are. Now I have a logo that I want to use. I might at this stage want to change some colors. So for example, I'll look at the black there and possibly look at a more corporate blue color. See if I prefer that one. Do the same with my lettering. We went through all of this yesterday. Now, and let's go with the corporate blue. Okay, I'm quite happy with corporate blue. I think corporate blue kind of works for me. Let's remove the background. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this page automatically. Now I have two exactly the same. And what I'm going to do with the second one is I'm just going to remove the background. and get an idea if I like the background or if I'd like to keep it the same. Am I going to make this kind of beige color, which I actually do like? I like this kind of beige color. It's just a little bit off-white. So I'm actually going to keep that as my color. There's one with no color. What I'm going to do one more time is I'm actually going to duplicate this. And now I'm going to actually convert all of this to white. So there's white. Convert that to white. Convert that to white. Bring back my background just so I can see that color again. And that's my logo in white. Now what I'm going to do with my logos, I'm going to do the following. I'm going to start exporting them, but I'm going to export them one at a time. The first one, I'm just going to export and I'm going to download. There we go. I wanted it to be a PNG file. I only want to download number one. In fact, let's go back here. I forgot to almost name it. Said what coaching logo. Another thing I can do is to actually name each of these pages. So this one is logo with background. This one here we'll call logo plain background. Nice if I could spell word background. And this one we'll call white logo. Now what I'm going to do with each of my logos, first I'm going to export the first one. So share, download. I only want to export my current page, which is page number one. Done, download. Let's do it. It's downloaded. I'll find that later on in my downloads file. The second one, I'm going to do the one with the plain background. Once again, I'm going to do share, download. Now, because I have the paid for version, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to only this page. I'm going to export this with a transparent background so that I can overlay this logo into anything that I want to later on. Hit download. I have that one. Now I want my logo in reverse colors. In other words, I want it in white. So once again, I'm going to just remove the background. I know the logo is there. There are all the sections. I'm going to go share, download. Once again, only the current page, page 3 that I'm working with. Sorry. Download, transparent background, only page 3. Done. Download. So now I've built a logo and I've created 3 different versions of my same logo. What I also might want to do is look at another version of this logo. So I'll take this logo over here as it is. Let's use this one over here. Once again, I'll duplicate the page. And what I'm going to do this time is I'm actually going to move some stuff around. I'm going to put that there. And I'm going to move said what over here. And business coaching, I'll bring it down a little bit also. And put business coaching over here. What I want to do with these two is I'm going to join these two together, just work with them at the same time, and I want to find their middle there. I can do some spacing. So now what I've created, I've also created a landscape logo because there might be times when I'm, for example, building a website. Now, I'm not so certain about my... It's funny, I didn't notice when I was up there. As soon as I put them next to each other, I'm looking, I'm thinking. Okay, let's go with this. I don't want to go too deep into all the logos. So I've now created a logo. Once again, share that one, download, current page only, transparent background, download. I also want to create the same logo in reverse. So I'll duplicate the page. There we go. Change this one to white. To white. Sorry, to white. And to white.
Mike, a question. Is there a
Yes.
way to convert the square file with the logo into a circle so that the logo is on a round background?
Okay, I'll get to that 1 second. Let me just do this export quickly. transparent, current page, download. Okay, so the way to do that is actually to put a circle behind your logo. So let's work with this one over here. Let's say we want this one to be inside a circle. So the first thing I'm going to do is just duplicate it because I always make sure I'm not working with the original. I'm going to join these three together again and just make them a little bit smaller because now I want them to fit inside a circle. I'm going to find my middle point. There's my middle point. And I'm going to do it there. I'm going to go to Elements and I'm going to add a circle. There's a circle. There's the shape of a circle. Now there's my circle. Now the very first thing I want to do is let's just change the color of the circle so we know what we're working with. We can always come back to something a bit later on. So I'll just change that purple color. Now I need to position it and I need to position it at the back. So now I have my circle. I have my logo in a round circle. If I remove this background, you'll see that's how my logo will be. This I might then change that to the color that it was. Now I have my logo within a circle. In order to use it in a circle, I have to export it as a PNG file with no background. But I'll do that for you now. But let's look at some options on our circle. One of the things I might want to do with my circle is actually add a border. Let's make that border a little bit thicker. And of course, I want the border color. There you can see stroke color. I want that to be the same color. So actually, the big mistake I made was I should have duplicated that page first. So let's go back here and remove the circle on this one. So the reason I keep duplicating things is so that I can go back and look at them time and time again. I can look at the one with the circle, look at the one without the circle, look at the one with the board. I can look at the board. I can say, okay, that board is a little bit too thick. In fact, I actually prefer it without the border around it. So I'm actually going to delete that one and do away with it. There, I've now created a logo with a circle behind it. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to share it, export this one again, once again, only this page. And once again, with a transparent background, download. So now I have my logo in various formats that I can use at different times. I'm always using the same colors. I'm always using the same font. I've always got the same emblem. To me, everything kind of works on the logo. Let's go to, where's our duplicate one? I now have a logo that I can use. Once I have a logo, the next thing I'm probably going to need is a business card. So quite simply, go back here to Life Coaching. There's my design, said what life coaching. There's all my files are there. If I click on it, it'll open it. I don't have to go looking for it. There they all are. Just waiting for everything to open. There we go. So I've got that there. We're still in Canva Life Coaching. This time I want to create, and I'm going to create a business card. Now, interesting thing is that the size of business cards has actually changed recently. So what I would need you to do there is just confirm with your printer or the kind of card that you want to make sure you have the right size. And you can see my options are, I can do a business card landscape, I can do a business card portrait, and I can do business card rounded and business card rounded portrait. I actually quite like the idea of let's do something different. We want to stand out from everyone else. So we're going to do a portrait business card as opposed to a landscape business card, and we're going to do it rounded. So I'm clicking there. There's my design ready for me to use. But once again, I don't want to be too fancy. So what I'm going to go and do is look for a couple of templates. I'm going to look through the templates here, pick one that I kind of want. I actually quite like this one. I'm a life coach, so I probably want my own picture on it at the same time. So I'm just going to pop this one in there. There's my business card. Now I can start making some changes. So for example, I can take out their logo. And because I have made copies of all my logos, I can open my downloads file. Go to downloads. You can't see this, it is on another screen, but I'll bring it across quickly. Um, there are all my folders. There are all my files. I can look at all of them and I can decide, okay, for this particular one, let's pop in this one. So I just simply drag it across onto my logo from my file. There it is. Resize it. Place it exactly where I want it. There we go. So now I'm going to change this one to, let's be Michael. Let's be all formal and not be Mike Sade. I always knew when my mother was cross with me because she called me Michael as opposed to Mike. And I knew when she was very cross with me when she called me Michael Sade, or extremely cross with me if she called me by my middle name. And if I ever heard the words Michael Robert Sade, my blood would run cold and I knew that I was in deep, deep trouble. Now, it's no use. I've suddenly shifted colors. So I want to change that to the color. I can go there. Now I need to find that color. I did have it there in the Auth template, but I can also go down to my color palette and there it is. I can see that color. So change that to blue, change that to blue. Let's change that background there to blue. No, that's actually, I'm picking the wrong thing there. It's that one there. Go to blue. Let's do all of these at the same time. Change their font to the blue. Do that to the blue. Okay, obviously don't want to be done one at a time. Blue, blue, blue. I'm not too worried about this outline. This outline is really for the printer, but I would not need to change that one over there to my corporate blue. I need that background there to also be my corporate blue. And let's change the whole background here. Just have a look at that beige color that we used earlier. There we go. Built a business card in about 30 seconds. Off it goes to the printer. I can also remove this. Oh no, this is actually, we used the rounded corner one. So now I have the business card that, oh, that's not me. Obviously, I want a picture of me. Let's go to, on a picture of me. Okay, just going to go to photos, mail. I want to use a real picture of me. Find some dude that looks like he could be a life coach. There we go. Just going to use this for the sake of this one. Pop it in me. There's me. Let's put me over there. And there we go. I've built a little business card in a couple of seconds. I could also, for example, go to this picture of me, and remove the background. And let's change the background position. I want to find that particular round little circle. Where's that background? Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? There's that background. And I can't change that color. Position, just looking for something in particular. I would have to change that, it would appear. Change that color to beige. No, I'm not liking that. So let's just Control Z, go back, leave that there. There we have a business card ready to go. I can send that off to my printer. When my printer wants it, obviously he doesn't want it. So I export it like that. Go to download. I always download it twice, once as a PNG file, just so you can see the image. Oh, hang on a second. Let's go there. Michael. So this is my coaching business card. Few things I forgot. Let's change that to Mike at mikesaidwhat.co.za. And because it's a website, I'll just make that a small m, although it doesn't really matter. Put in my phone number because I want international clients. I'll put my 8139821990. And my website, it will be at, in fact, that is my, whatever I want it to be. I can't quite work out what that is. So I need to see. Let's just make it really bigger. Yeah, it's kind of my social media. And my social media is, most of the time, it is Mike said what. There we go back to making size I can see and can work with. Now I have the business card exactly the way I want it. Go to share, download. So just one more thing. So once again, if I decide to try something a little bit differently, I won't work on this. I will duplicate the page once again, and then now start working on the duplicate side of the page. So one of the things I might do with this duplicate side of the page is, let's try one of the other logos let's change the whole background to the corporate blue. Change that one there to the beige. Get rid of that logo. Change. I'll add. Change my fonts all to beige, 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 beige. Those little boxes there we have to change to beige. Change them to beige. And we also need to change the inside part to black so it stands out. Change the inside part to black. That one there, reverse it. We want that to be beige. And we want that to be blue. No, sorry. We want that to be beige. We want that to be black. We need a new logo. So this time I'm going to bring in that white logo that we worked with a bit earlier on. That I should have actually made a, let's bring in this logo. I should have made myself a beige color of the logo. I could go back and do that now, but I'll just leave that for now. Now I can look at the two and say, okay, which one do I prefer? I'm not loving this particular block over here. Move that up there. Look at my back. Nah. Let's go back to the first one. Didn't like it, delete it, carry on from there. I have my logo. First thing I want to do, share, download, export this as a PNG file, just a normal PNG file, download it, so that when I send it to the printer, I can send him a reference. Now I need to send him the printable file. I'll go share, download. I'm changing this to a print ready PDF file. There it is. I'm going to flatten the PDF, which means that all the elements cannot be moved around. And because it's going to be printed, I'm going to change this to CMYK. And I have CMYK colors for my printing. And I can download that. And I now have two files that I'm going to send to my printer. I'm going to send him a PNG file, and I'm going to send him my business card file at the same time. Let me just bring this across here for you quickly.
Mark, I have a question. Are you not able to edit the logo once you've dragged and dropped it on a new project?
You are, but the editing won't be very good, so I'd rather go back and edit the logo. I don't want to make it, I could go to the logo, sorry, I could go to the logo, and then I can change the color there to beige, but it's never quite the same color. It's quite weird. It's not quite the beige that you picked. It's not quite the blue that you picked. It's almost like it has a sheen over it. So I would say, rather than try and edit it once I bring it across, go back and just re-edit my logo if I, myself, how I want it to be. So yes, you can, but rather don't, would be the answer I'd give you. Okay, does that answer that question? I'm going to assume that it does. Okay, so now we have a logo and we have a business card. We're almost ready to go. What else would we need? We might need, for example, a flyer that we're going to hand out at something I want a corporate flyer. Go back to life coaching, go to create, and let's do a, what do they call those things? Company profile. Let's build ourselves a company profile. Type in the word company profile. Oh, is that showing slideshow? I don't want a slideshow. Company profile. I definitely don't want a slideshow. Okay, I think I know what it wants me to do. So let's first go build an A. We can do it in A4. So I'm just going to find an A4 page. Document portrait A4. There's an A4 document. And now what I'm going to do is in my design elements, here they are, there's company profiles. Here they're coming right away. Let's type in company profile. And I can look at a whole lot of options here. I can find the one that I kind of feel works for me the best. There are plenty of them. Because I'm a life coach, it's probably going to be something in that line there. Company profile. And I can start making some changes. So simple, 2026. I almost put in 2025. It's 2026. Remove that. Bring in my own logo instead. There's my logo. Make it a bit smaller. Still a bit too big. Well, it's kind of like there. There's my logo. Let's bring those two down a little bit to give myself some more space. And let's do coaching profile. Um, uh, Success driven coaching. I am making this up as I go along, just by the way. So there we are. I have my coaching. Let's go find that old picture of me that I had before. Go back to photos. There I am. Pop me in there. Done that. Change the contact information exactly the way I want it. Find another picture there. Let's go up here and go coaching. See if I can find one that I kind of like. I don't want to spend too much time on this. Drop that one in there. Coaching, but it can be any picture that you feel kind of works with you, works with your, you can also design your own pictures. Here's another one. Let's put that one in to see how that one looks, see if it fits. No, it doesn't fit. So let's go back, Control Z, remove that. There's my coaching profile already built. What I would do at this stage is I would go straight to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to help me write a mission statement for myself. I'd ask it to list my products and services for me. I believe there's a lot of information in there that you can build with. So we've been online now for about 30 minutes. We have built a logo, we have built a business card, and we already have our kind of coaching profile that we can share with people. Once again, I can just click on the background there, go back to that kind of beige color that I was using earlier and see if I prefer that or not. Does it work for me? It probably would. It's a little bit too dark, that color. Let's see if we can go back to maybe pull some grayer color. If I'm not happy, click on the colors, go even a bit lighter. I kind of like it a little bit off-white. I don't think that white was the right color. That's probably a little bit more like it. So there where I said what coaching profile, I can always move stuff around. I can put up mission statement up there. I could make it a little bit smaller if I wanted to. Put that up there. Move that up there, keep it in the same line that it was, lining everything up. Give me a little bit space for something else that I want at the bottom here. Let's just make this a bit shorter. Move these two, hold them together, move them at the same time. There we go. Now I've got, for example, let's duplicate those, bring them down here. And I've got just enough space here for, what would this be? A vision statement. And I can add a vision statement. If I think that's a little bit too big, I can always just make those just a little bit smaller to give myself a bit more space there. So we have, as I said, a business card, a coaching profile. Um, we kind of have everything. We can check the colors. Are they the same colors? Just make sure they're all the same colors. Change everything to those colors. I want everything to be consistent in colors. Once again, I can now print this out, share, download. I can decide to whether I want to download it as a PDF file because I want to email a PDF file to clients, or I can send it as a PNG file. It's telling me of standard PDF, but I can change it as we go along there. So now I have kind of everything that I want, and I'm going to start doing my social media because I want to build the site. There's all this really, really quickly. So what else will we need? We will need a Facebook page. So a logo we have, no problem with that. We have a Facebook logo already. What else I want to build right now? Create a Facebook cover image. There we are, Facebook cover landscape. It's going to give me the exact size that I want right there and then. I don't even have to worry about it. There's my Facebook cover logo. What I can do with this one, let's go back to photos and let's type in life coaching. Which one of these do I kind of like? Coaching, life coaching, healthy life coaching. None of them are really grabbing me. I might actually end up going to Gemini and ask Gemini if it can help me, but I don't want to spend too much time on this. So let's just go with this one. There's coaching, set images background. There it is. I can double click on it and move it around a little bit if I want, just so I want to catch a bit of that motivation. There's my background image. What I might want to do with that one is overlay my own logo. So what I'll do is I'll take my white logo with no background. See if that works for me. Might be a little bit hidden there. So what I am going to do just before I turf it and go with something else is I'm just going to go edit, shadows, and give it some drop shadow. See if I like that a bit more, if it helps bring it out a bit. Not sure it's working on that background. So what will often happen is you'll do something like this, and then you'll go, actually, because of that, I don't like the background. Let's go with this one with the key. Set images background. Now I really like this one, but I want my logo to be here and I want the key to be there. So quite simply, I'm going to click on it. There's the flip button at the top there. I'm going to flip it horizontally. So I've opened up the space on the left-hand side and I've moved the key across to the right-hand side. Go back to my logo, bring my logo in. Put that in like that. I might experiment here a little bit by going to edit, shadow, and just see what happens if I give it a little bit of lift. Let's give it an outer glow. Yeah, that's quite nice. I like that. Give this a glow as opposed to a shadow. It just makes it stand out just that little bit more for me. I can bring these down if I want. It doesn't really matter because it is and this is why I built the logo with a transparent background. And this is also why I built the logo in my color. So let's go back here. Now I'm going to remove this one, replace it with my blue one. Make that a bit bigger. And you can see straight away that of these two, it's actually the white one that stands out. And that's why I like to have my logo in different colors, in different shades with background so that I can, this one obviously doesn't work for me. I can delete that. I can leave that there. I also, for example, want to make sure you can contact me without going into my things. So I'm going to go to text, go to heading, put in plus 27 81 398 2190. Put my number in there. I want you to be able to find my number without any aggravation at all. It obviously needs to be also in white. Change the color to white. Another thing I might want to do is go back to my logo. There's my coaching logo and find out what that font is. So there it is. That font is Anantison and that font is Anton. So let's go with Anantison. Go back here. Double click on that. Click on fonts and type in Anantison. There it is. Anantison. So at least I haven't introduced a whole new font to it at this stage. I actually want it to be quite thin. So let's rather do the condensed one. Might be a little bit big. Find a nice spot for it. Drop it there. If I want, also I can go to effects and give it a bit of lift. It's actually giving it the same background as that. Now I have my Facebook cover page. That's also already done. What I might want to do is while I'm here, duplicate that page, go look for another image in the photos. And let's look at this one over here. Replace background. We need to flip that one around as well. Flip it. I might, while I'm here, build myself 3 or 4 different backgrounds so that I can change them on a monthly basis. Replace background. Flip horizontal. There we go. I've now built myself 3 different backgrounds. Don't forget to name it Facebook cover page. I can share that. Now I'm going to download all of them at the same time. There's my download file. So doing this on purpose just to show you something. Now when it downloads, it's going to download all of them into the same file. So if I go to my downloads and just bring this across for you, you will find that I have a Facebook cover zip file. So I would right click on it. In my case, it's show more options, 7-zip extract to Facebook cover. And then right at the bottom here, I know I'm going to find Facebook cover, view extra large icons. There they are. I know where they are. I've done them all at the same time. I could have downloaded them one at a time as well. That also would have helped. So we have everything. So our little business is coming along really well. We have a Facebook thing. Now, what do we need to do next? We might want to do, for example, our very first Facebook post. So I'll go back to Canva, go back to you can see everything's lining up here in the same thing because I'm in life coaching. So I'm not moving out of life coaching. When I come back to life coaching, I'll find everything out here. Create Facebook post. I'm going to create my very first post. There it is, Facebook post. I simply click on it. I know it's going to be the right size. Keeping with the tradition that I've promised myself, I'm going to look for a template that works for me. So I'm going to go to Life Coach and see if we can find a life coaching first post on Facebook. Yeah, maybe I want to use this one because I want to introduce myself to the business. It doesn't look a lot like me now, does it? So we'll just delete that one. And I'm going to go back to that same picture that I used earlier. Up here, you can look when I go to photos, under recent, I can see all the pictures I've recently used. There's the one we used. There I am over there. This time I'm going to remove the background. I'm going to pop myself kind of there. Make it just a little bit smaller. Kind of like that one. Do I want his elbow cut off or not? Shift. I don't want his elbow cut off, so let's make it just a little smaller. There we go. What I might want to do with this right now is go back to edit, go back to shadow. This time I'm going to add a drop shadow to it. And I'm going to change the angle of the drop shadow. I want to make it look like it's coming from below, kind of there. Just give it a bit of lift from the page. Business coaching, that works for me. I need to put my logo on here. I can go to my uploads because I've done my logo. I've uploaded my logos before. They'll all be sitting here waiting for me. Let's drop the white one on there. Hold the control button because I don't want it to replace that picture up there. I just want it to be there. There we go. Make the changes. Is this the color that I've been using all the time? Go back here, check with that one, change all it was slightly different color. There they all are. I really like the way they've done this over here. By adding a bit of lift shadow, they've made it look like it stands out, and also they've made it slightly transparent. You can see the background of the image just behind it. I really do like that one. I can do our services, make these changes. We help business owners professionally reach their potential through mentoring, strategy, and practical solutions. Quite like that. I might also want to take that, Control C, Control Z, Control A, Control C. I've just made a copy of it. I can go to ChatGPT and I can say to ChatGPT, please reword this for me a little softer. Control V. Please give me 5 options to choose from. Boom. This shouldn't take more than a couple of seconds. Here, I like this one. We work alongside business owners. So let's choose that one. Control C. I can go back to its home up there. Come back here. Place the font. Maybe replace the text. Simple as that. Yeah, there we go. Now we have our first Facebook. We have our, and we want to call this here coaching Facebook post. There we go. We have our first Facebook coaching post. I might also, while I'm here, look at that background. Remember I said there's a background I kind of prefer. Let's go back to where were we? Our A4. So I'll go there, look, click on that. There's my color. If I click on it, click there, it's called a hex code. So I can copy that hex code, Control C, go back to our Facebook paste. Let's click on the background, add a color, Control V, there's our color. Enter. I've taken off the white and I've just changed it to the slight color because I want to keep consistency with everything. And also with Facebook being white itself, it often helps to have something that stands out fractionally from Facebook at that stage. Let me just make sure that all of these are the right. Oh, we did change that. They are the right color. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that. It's called the Coaching Facebook page. Share, download. Another thing that I love to do with ChatGPT, just bring ChatGPT back here. I have a coaching business Doesn't even, when you're spelling so bad that it can't even recognize. I have a coaching business that specializes in corporate clients. I should give it a lot more information that I am there. Please write me, please assist me in creating 6 Facebook posts that I can use once a week to introduce my different services. Please remember a strong call to action on each post. Please remember, and run it. Absolutely, here they are. 6 posts already done. I can now go and make 6 posts that match this. They're already done for me. What else I can do? I can say to it, if you like your business, I can change my tone or keep it. Let's just say I'm happy with them. Um, please suggest imagery for each of the posts. It's giving me some ideas of how to do my imagery, what I should do on each of the posts. So I'm just going to move that out the way a little bit, and we're going to go and build post number 1. So I've got this already. I know it's the right size. I'm going to duplicate it because I don't want to lose my cover one. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to remove this section over here. So let's just remove that, remove that, remove that, remove one of these and then a little shadow background. This one and shadow, I'm just going to put it up here in case I want to use it just now. Little Z. Get rid of those. There's the contact details. Post number 1. Let's see what post number 1 was. I'm looking on the other screen. Executive and leadership coaching. So I can go there. Control C. Control V. Executive and leadership coaching. Obviously, this thing needs to be bigger. So does that little shadow that's been lurking behind there. Bring some shadow in. Yeah, it looks okay. It's in the wrong. Let's just position. It's in the wrong place. I need it to go backwards behind there. Executive leadership coaching. Put in put this in here. Change my font color to the blue color. Align it. Bring it in. Make it a font or two smaller. Leadership. There we go. And then a call to action. Contact us. Comment lead. Control C. I quite like this. Quite a strong call to action. Control V. Comment lead. Change the color to blue. Comment leads a bit too big. Writing might be a bit too small for here, but we can always look at that a bit later on. So there we go. I have my coaching. What did it tell me about the first image? Let's go back to my images. Uh, confident leader in a business meeting. So let's go to photos and let's go to uh, confident leader. Press enter. Uh, yeah, let's use this lady. And I'm now going to swap that image for her. Bring her down so we don't cut off her head. All of a sudden my logo is not working there. I might have moved my logo over here. Also give my logo, oh, did the wrong thing there. It didn't have a background, so let's just go back there, control. Put that there, go to edit. Shadows, my favorite. Give it some glow so it stands out a little bit. Or try drop shadow. In this case, a drop shadow might even be better. There we go. I have my first Facebook post. And what I would do is simply duplicate these all the time. I'd make another one, change from executive leadership to something else. And so before I'm finished, half an hour's gone by. I've got my first Facebook post that I want to do. I've got all I've got 6. I've got to post a week or post two posts a week for the next 3 weeks, however I decide to do it. Then my posts are done. What else would I need to do? I might, for example, now want to send out a corporate, I want to do my first presentation. No problem. We've got this. It's called coaching. We got that. Go back to Canva. Go there. What do you want to do this time? We want to do a presentation. Why wouldn't it do that? What would it call it? Type, folder, design. I want to design. Why does it like the word presentation? Okay, let's just go create up here at all. Sorry, because I don't have one. Presentation. There's a presentation. I'm always going to be working in 1920 by 1080. That's landscape, no problem. Click on that. There's presentation. Once again, I'm going to do as I said and not just what I would normally do. I'm not going to start from scratch. I'm going to call this one a coaching presentation. Helps when you spell correctly. Go here, go to design, go to coaching. There we go. Got something to work with, something to start with. Personal coach. I'll go through them once again, find the one that I like the most, that I feel will match with my. Here are, there are 10 of them. There are even different pages. What I will often do is say, okay, I quite like that one, but I might use it. No, I'm not actually crazy about that one. Let's go back. Coaching manual. Let's look at those pages. Yeah, it might be more in the liking. So I'll just apply all 11 pages just as they are. So here we have them. All the pages are there ready for me to edit. I can start quite simply by going back to my logo. What font is that? It's called Anton. My coaching presentation, go there, change Zen dots to Anton because I like to keep everything exactly. And I can hit the bottom here, change all, which means wherever Zen dots appear, it'll now become Anton. So I've already changed that. Then this font over here, we want to change to that one we used just now. What was it called again? Anantacin. Sure, nice one, Mike. Change all. Now I've changed all the fonts, all the logos, everything to that. Next thing I want to do is change the background. Go to that background, go back to my A4, find the color again. There it is. Copy that color code somewhere. I could also make a little color pamphlet, color palette just for myself. Go to coaching presentation, go to the background, change the color to that one there, change all. So I don't have to do all the pages one at a time. They've all been done. All the backgrounds are now, all the fonts are changed, all the color. Oh, we need to change the color of our font. Go back there, go to color, go to the blue that we be using all the time, go change all. All the colors have been changed to blue. A couple of these, go to the same blue, change all. Now you'll find that all the little elements are blue. And now what I've done without much hassle at all, and before I even start working on the different pages, see what I've done? I've done all the branding is being done before I start the work. Because otherwise I know what's going to happen. I'll go back and start changing stuff and I won't remember to do it all. So there's kind of everything. What I do right now, and I'll just tell you that my favorite is I would like to create a 6-page company profile that will be in presentation format. Six-page format. Okay, now I'm a very stickler at this. I would like no more than 4 lines per page, excluding the title. And I would like no more than 5 words per line. That's how presentation should come across. Please create. Obviously, I haven't given enough, and I press send. Thinking. Come on, GPT, be faster. Be faster. Amazing how impatient we've become. Any of you remember the very start of the World Wide Web? We used to be called the World Wide Wait. Here we go. Generating power with custom layout and content. Let it do its thing. Listing direction, content, and details. Don't want to keep you all too long, but I'd like just you to see how good it is at this. I'm not sure why it's going so slowly. So what I'm going to do in the meantime is I'm just going to cut and paste my instruction. I'm going to open DeepSeek on the other side, which is another AI program. And I'm going to pop the same thing into DeepSeek and run that one. I just want to show you one that's a little bit faster. So here's DeepSeek. It's given me everything I want. Page 1, our mission. Page 2, title, who we are. Page 3, our sourcing. Page 4, page 5, page 6. So everything's written for me. All I need to do now is decide what format I want to do it in. So I could look at these different pages, see if I quite like any of them. Actually, not really sitting with me much as I thought they would. So let's do something a little bit different this time. Let's go to the top page and let's just add a page. I'm giving myself a blank page to work with on the time. So first of all, I want a nice titling. I'm lazy, Control C, Control V. Good coaching there. There we go. This is page 1. It's our mission. Our mission, page 1. I've only got Control C, Control V. I'll keep this professional. As you can see, the lines are way too close together, so I'm just going to spread the lines out a little bit. There we go. Take off the bold. I don't want it to be bold. Find a size that kind of works for me. There we go. Let's find an image to put over here. So we'll go to elements. Remember, I introduced you to frames. So I'm looking for a kind of set frame that I can use all the time. So there is consistency in everything I do. Let's have a look at all of them. Let's use an arrow. Drop an arrow in here. Size it the way I want it to be. Make it a bit longer even. A bit taller to that point over there, which means that's going to be just a little too big. And now I can go into my photos, find a picture that I want, mission. Type in the word mission. Mission, drop that one in there. There we go. If I don't like that one, find a different one. Let's make it kind of lift off. I do like that one. Put lift off in our first one. That's our mission. I can do that. I can pop my logo in, which I've uploaded so many times. Go to uploads, uploaded files, images. Set what? Back to text. Put that there. Bring that there. Bring it closer. Make sure it's exactly. If I can use my arrow key also to move things. You can see I'm moving it with my arrow key, not with my mouse, so I can get that lined up. I'm looking to have this line here be as clean as possible, so it's not disturbing to the eye. I might want to take it up just a fraction. There we go. Vision, our mission, build, create. I like that. I've built page 2. All I'm going to do is duplicate it and make page 3. So page 3 is who we are. Replace that with who we are. Replace those lines over here with the lines that were there. Because this is a team, go back to photos. Type in the word teamwork or just team. There's my team. Drop that in there. And so I am building my presentation as I go along. And of course, when you notice things like this, that's where you have to kind of do a rethink, because you don't want things to be passionate about. Let's just change it to cup for now, because I just want to, but I'm looking for little things where things overlap or don't work together. Yeah, I'm busy building my presentation. I, of course, will have done this one differently, because that's got to go, and that's got to go, and that's got to go, and in its place, once again, go to uploads. It's my logo I want up there. Said what? Business coaching. That can go up there. It's not internal. It's presentation. Coaching made simple. Not a nice line at all, but anyway, that's the one I just want to put in for now. I don't like that one. Go back to photos. Let's put our team in there again, or another. There we are. Coaching made simple. Replace that. Don't get too stuck in analysis paralysis looking for the absolutely perfect picture. You find the one that works best, that best represents your company. Put it in there. Go for it. We're busy building a presentation. Now I've decided I'm going to show you something. If I click here at the bottom, I can see all the pages at the same time. And because I've decided not to use any of these pages over here, I'm going to say the thank you. I'm simply going to delete them. So I've just made my presentation that much cleaner. Go back to where we were, change the view. There's the thank you page. Do I want a table of contents? No, I'm not going to do it. We've only got 6 pages. Let's skip the table of contents. So I have a opening page. Let's duplicate this because it appears, I'll see it's kind of just to show people the next page is there. Kind of there. I can keep building the 6 pages. I can look at it, how it'll look as I press the word present, and I can see how my pages are going to present as I go along. I can also look at my pages along the bottom here, and I can add a transition. Simple dissolve transition, apply to all pages. Now I've got it changing between pages as I want to go. So if I go back to present now, it'll be a little bit slower. It'll fade more between the pages. I can also go to present and I can slow that down. So I can make the presentation present last a second longer. Share. And I want to do present, 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 present. Now, I seldom present in um, I'll present in PowerPoint and not in here. And one of the things I really like to do is I like to make sure that when people are reading my slides, they can't read everything at the same time. I only want them to read what I'm speaking about. So here's a bit of a cheat for you. What I'm going to do with these pages is I'm going to duplicate. Let me just close that 2 pages. Here my pages are. I'm actually, because there are 4 lines on each page, I'm going to make 4 copies of each page. So duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. I know on the 4th one, I want everything to appear. On this one here, I want that line to disappear. On the next one, I'll take out 2 lines. On the next one, I will take out 3 lines. And now what we've got is a presentation that looks like this and will work like this. The lines will only appear while I'm speaking about them because otherwise people tend to read the lines a bit further on. So what I'll do for that is I'll then do that with all the pages. I'm not going to do that I'll go back to page 3 and page 4 and page 5 and do them all exactly the same. Now I want to actually convert this to a PowerPoint presentation. And the way that I do that is I simply go to share, I go to download, and I look for a PNG file. I love PNG files. And I'm simply going to download this. There we go. Download them all. What's going to happen in my downloads file as soon as it's done? To show you that again, in my downloads file, there it is, coaching presentation. Once again, I need to unzip that. I follow this program, 7-zip, extract to coaching presentations. Go down to the bottom. There are all my slides in coaching presentations. View extra large icons. There they are. I've got them. I was going to keep them on the side there. In the meantime, I'm going to open PowerPoint in another window and just bring it across for you to show you the complete. Here's PowerPoint. Build myself a blank presentation. There it is. Go up here to insert. And I'm going to insert a photo album, a new photo album from the file. Where am I going to find it? I'm going to go to downloads because that's where I saved it. Downloads. I'm going to look for that particular file. Coaching presentation. Control A. Insert. Create. Boom. I can remove let's just get rid of that. I can remove that one over there. I've now got my presentation into PowerPoint. The only thing I need to do now is my transitions. And I'm going to use a fade transition. I do like them the best. I like that one. I want it to be on mouse click only. And I need to apply to all. There we go. I've now built my presentation. It's in PowerPoint. I can present. Sorry, it's presenting on the wrong, it's not presenting on the screen that I want. Let me just bring this in for you. There I have my PowerPoint presentation. I can slide through all the slides as I built them. So all I've done is I've taken an entire presentation that I built in Canva and I've moved it across to PowerPoint. The only thing that I do want to warn you that I've actually brought in images. Remember, this is not text. So I cannot edit this in PowerPoint. I would have to go back to Canva, recreate that slide and replace that slide. But I do find that these do make the most wonderful and easy to use presentations. I'm going to close that. Don't save it. I don't need to save that. So we now have done, what have we got? We've got a logo, a business card, a flyer, an advert to send out. We've done a Facebook cover page. We've done 5 of our next posts. We've already built our first presentation to send to people. And it's only 11:15. We've done all of that in an hour and 15 minutes with the help of ChatGPT. But another thing I want you to notice that I didn't spend too long. Please, I'm going to tell you all, don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. Please note that wherever possible, I haven't gone anywhere near the outside of the page. There you can see my little block all the time. That little block is there. Let me just run some lines on my block for you so you can see it. Sorry, let's do that. That. At no time am I asking the client to try and read outside of that block. And also I haven't put more, I gave the instruction, 4 lines per page, 6 lines, because what I don't want is send the presentation to someone and they close it because they go, oh God, I'm not reading this. It just simply takes too long. So there's the thank you page. Obviously I'll change the image on the thank you page. Go back to one of our team ones. Let's put that one there. Just Control Z. Click on it, flip it around, flip it horizontally, double click on it, bring the hands in there. There we go. We've almost built a whole presentation. So we have kind of everything. Now what I'll do is I'll just open it to the floor a little bit so I can find out from all of you if there's anything that you feel I've gone a little bit too fast on, something you'd like me to show you, or if there's anything else that I haven't built that we can try and build for you quickly. So it's open to all of you. Okay, I can see it. Can you please do a quick recap on how to put the border on the circle? Yeah, let's go do that right now. Let's go back to our coaching logo. Go back to the circle. There's our circle. Up here, you'll see stroke style. It's called a stroke. So I can pick the stroke. I can pick a straight line. I can put dots around it. I could put different dots. So let's go with a straight line around it. I can make it bigger or smaller. In this case, let's make it a little bit bigger. It actually looks better now that I've decided to make it bigger. There is the stroke circle around that. I can also at the same time with this circle, I can go there and I can make it transparent so that I only have the circle there. So that should help you with that side. You can put a stroke around almost anything, but it works best around circles and sometimes squares as you go along on that side. See, there's one new question. When did you get so smart on Canva? Okay, so that's a good question. Thank you, Jordana. How did I get so smart on Canva? Let me tell you, as I said last week, the first time I designed in Canva, I actually designed rubbish. The second time was slightly less rubbish. The third time a little bit less. I've now done literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of designs. And as I do more, I get better. I learn. I watch YouTube videos on Canva all the time. Even at this stage, I go into YouTube and I'm looking for advanced things and things that they're changing. If I get stuck, I learn little tricks. one of my favorite little tricks on Canva is and these are all, let's just add a blank page here, is using cutout images. So let's go to photos. Let me go to yoga. This is my favorite one of doing. Looking for a yoga image. It's a lady doing a nice yoga pose, and I'm looking for something very specific. So let me see if I can find something. Um, this lady over here. Take the image, remove the background. Now I just have her over there. Take a letter, text, heading, type the word yoga. Make it really, really big. Um, Bring her to the front, in front of the yoga. There we go. Put her by the O. Let's try something really fancy here. So now what I'm going to do, I just want to move her fractionally to the middle of it. Let's make yoga a nice yoga color. We don't want something so bright. There we go. That's much nicer. Maybe the purple. Let's go with the blue, the yoga color. Now I'm going to take her and I'm going to duplicate her and put her exactly over herself. And I'm going to cut by her shoulders there. You can't see what's about to happen, but watch what happens now. Take the bottom one, position, move it to the back. And now I've got her going through you can see her actually going through the A. So those are little tricks you'll learn as you go along. Um, did you find using video clips a better way of advertising than static images? Richie wants to know about video clips. So video clips certainly have their place. I like to use video clips for videos and static images for static. So for example, if I'm doing a reel, so let's go back to our life coaching Canva thing, and I want to create a Facebook reel. If I'm creating a Facebook, oh no, Instagram reel, doesn't really matter. They're all more or less the same size. So let's just go with Instagram reel. Got the right size here. Once I'm creating a reel, then I don't mind animating it because I'm going to make it video. But I don't like to put video animations on my static images. That I don't think works at all, and it becomes very distracting. So now I can go down here to elements. In elements, I'll look for videos. In videos, once again, I will look for coaching. I'll look for a video. I'm looking at the orientation. I'm going to make it vertical. So I'm particularly looking for videos in that format, in vertical format. Obviously, it's not sports coaching, it's business coaching. So we need to find something that kind of matches business coaching. Not really sure what that is. Yeah, let's put that one there. Put it on there. Play it just so that I can see. Kind of like it. Once again, as I've done with everything else, uploads. Pop the white logo on this time. Use that one. I actually wanted it to be over. Oh man, delete. In the middle of all that, I want the logo. So I'm just going to go back to downloads. Downloads. Let's use our logo that we created with the background. Pop that in there. Just waiting for it to upload. Upload. There it is. Uh, put it above it. Tools, photos. There's the logo. Let's work with the logo. Pages. Come logo. There we are. Here's the logo. Okay. No, man, this is driving me a bit insane now. Sorry. Cancel that. I want to just work with my logo. Pages. Work with the logo. Logo. Why can't I not change the size? Oh, there we are. There's my logo back. Sorry, took me a little while to. There's my logo. Drop my logo at the bottom there. Stretch the logo out so you can see the logo for the whole 11 seconds of the video. Go to audio. Go to corporate. Find some corporate music. I don't want to spend too long doing it, so I'm just going to. And there, I've put some logo music on already. What else I want to do along the way here is add some writing. Let's go to text. Reducing. Put that up there. Let's go with white. We must go back to our fonts that we've been using all the time. Anton. Go to effects. Let's give this one a bit of a. Let's give it that. Stretch out the letters just fractionally. There we go. Introducing, and I want that to start right at the beginning. And what I'll do with that is I'll animate it and I'll make it come across like a typewriter. So now we have a video that kind of looks like this. Sorry, let me go back to the beginning of it. Introducing. And this one, so that comes in afterwards. Using life coaching that matters. Let's look at our video quickly. There we are. If I'm ready, obviously I'd like a lot more on it. So we're a little bit short on time on that there. Hit the share button, hit download, and now you will export it as an MP4 video. That's what it is. Hit download. This can take a few seconds depending on the size and the length of your video. That's a little bit slow. Am I back? I'm back. Well, while that video is downloading, so yes, what's the other one? So how many images per slideshow then? Try and keep it to one image per page. Unless you need to illustrate something, then you might have two. But I can tell you right now, great presentations have got much less on them than you think. Great presentations are you presenting to them, you actually speaking to them and them not trying to read your slides and see what's happening. So I just want to show you quickly that it has now downloaded. So if I go into I'll just bring this across here for you again. I'll go into my downloads file. There it is. Double click on it and it'll open Um, okay, yes, so that's the video's now done. Um, how many images per slideshow then? Jordana, keep it, honestly, keep your presentations. In fact, keep everything you do, keep it as clean as possible. Clean just really works. The less people have to fight with different things to look at. I'm not fighting with anything. There's the words, there's the one image to support the words. That's all I want you to do. Even our Facebook cover page, don't have to look at a million things. It said what business coaching, there's an image to support it. Even our profile, it's in a neat line, it's clean, it's easy to read, it's not intimidating. I don't have arrows flying in from all over and different things. And let me just show you something. Let me just duplicate this page and show you something now. If I were to move all of this across, so I just have to highlight everything. If I took all of that and moved it there just to make myself more space because I want it to be bigger, now looking like that. Life coaching will make it much bigger as well because everyone thinks that bigger is better, which is not. We'll delete that. And all of a sudden, what you're looking at here is a very uncomfortable read. Your eye doesn't want to go that close. Look at the difference between these two. Less is more. Less is more. Less is more. Small, you don't have to have a big logo on everything. Just so if I can get to one thing to you, less is more. Use space to your advantage. Space gives them something to focus on. Hierarchy. What's the hierarchy here? The hierarchy starts off with the biggest, is coaching profile and our little catch line. Then there's a heading to each one so they can clearly identify what they want to look at. Oh, I just want to contact him, go straight to the bottom. Oh, I just want their vision statement. There it is. You can see that in different things. The only time I've used bullet points is over here where there are 4 different bullet points. Clean, neat design. And I think we've now hit 11 o'clock and I don't want to switch off just yet, but I am going to switch off. Let me switch off sharing for a second so I can maybe take some calls and comments from anyone. Okay. So I think that, Chippo, if you're trying to speak, you're on mute. I think what I really, hello, Trace.
Hello, Mark.
What I've tried to do is show you all that with a limited amount of resource, a limited amount of time, you can actually create an entire business profile for yourself in, let's say it took me 90 minutes, it's going to take you guys 2 or 3 days. That's fine. But if you haven't got 2 or 3 days to dedicate to this, or even less, but you certainly can do it. And by following the templates and by following the rules and sticking to your fonts and sticking to your colors and sticking to your theme of pictures, you're creating a brand for yourself. As opposed to every time I go to your page, I see something different. Today I see cartoons, tomorrow I see animations, the next day I see some images that you stole off Google. Build yourself a brand. And the way you build yourself a brand is by doing things consistently. Consistency, consistency, consistency.